and welcome to this session on checking of tire air pressure. Let us begin with this session. On completion of this exercise, the trainee shall be able to check the existing tire pressure on a vehicle. Let us summarize this session on checking tire air pressure.
The tools and instruments required: a trainee's toolkit, a tire pressure gauge, an air pressure inflating unit, an air valve remover equipment. Materials required: cotton waste as required, air valve as required, valve cap as required. What is air pressure in tire? Pressure is defined as a force exerted on a surface per unit area. To put it more simply, it is the force that is put on a certain defined area. Your tire inflation pressure depends on the amount of air that has been pumped into your tire. It is measured using pounds per square inches. It is PSI or bar or kPa. When taking measures, it is always best to do so when the tire is cold. Cold air means the tires haven't been rolled or the car has been standing for 2 to 3 hours. Maintaining proper tire inflation is relatively simple and essential to the overall tire performance of your vehicle. A proper inflated tire will provide longer life, quicker steering response, better fuel efficiency, and a smoother ride than an improperly inflated tire. Both under and over inflation can cause problems like the thread wearing out too quickly or the tire failing. The best way to ensure you are getting the most out of your tires is to check your tire pressure monthly. Air pressure gauges measures how much pressure is in the device. Many systems need to know how much air pressure there is in order to function properly. To measure air pressure, we can use gauges. What is pressure gauge and how does this gauge works? Pressure gauge is a measuring device used to check the pressure of tire. The stainless steel is used to make the Bourdon tube pressure gauges. When the air is in Bourdon tube goes up, it tends to straighten. This will make the gear section turn in the opposite direction of a clock. Some of the special features of pressure gauges are: it has excellent load cycle stability, which means that the item or material can handle repeated heavy loads without breaking or getting worse. It has shock protection, which means that it won't break when it getting hit or shaken suddenly. All the main parts are made up of stainless steel. Positive pressure in an air pressure gauge ranges from 0 to 200 psi. The oars of the pressure gauge has an adapter that pushes down the small part of the tire that lets air in and out. This part goes into the tube. The scale shows how much psi is inside the tire. Check to see if the pressure is the same as what the manufacturer recommended. If the tire has low pressure, you can add more compressed air. Stop filling the air when the air pressure reaches the recommended pressure. Let's see how we can check the tire air pressure using the pressure gauge. Remove tire valve cap and clean the valve externally to remove any dust. Insert tire pressure gauge and take the reading. Compare whether the air pressure is as per the recommended value. Check if the tire needs inflation or deflation. If it is to be inflated, insert the air inflator and watch the tire pressure reading in the gauge. Few of the equipments will have the ability to preset the air pressure. Once the air pressure reaches the setting point, it automatically stops inflation. Check if the air valve is leaking in the valve by using soap solution. Make sure the air bubbles are not coming out of the valve. If in case the air is coming out of the valve, then we need to recheck on why the air is leaving. If there is no leak, replace the cap.
Let us summarize this session on checking tire air pressure. The module covers the tools and instruments needed, the working concept of pressure gauges, their specific features, and the step-by-step technique of testing tire air pressure. The key topics include the tools and instruments needed like tire pressure gauge, air pressure inflation unit, etc. The working principle of pressure gauges like Borden tube pressure gauges, special features, and the step-by-step process of checking tire air pressure.